uh, not necessarily tool. It's been like the conversation was generally about vibe coding earlier, but now it's really moved into the agentic stuff. And he just did one about the um, Perplexity computer right here 2 weeks ago. So I caught that one, and in his example, he was using it to look for sponsors for his podcast. Said, "Hey, let me do the same thing." So I've been using it for that, and it has. I'm impressed. It's not doing a ton of work. Like for instance, I asked it to go and find similar or competitive podcasts, see who was sponsoring them, build a list of those sponsors, write an email that kind of indicates that I've, hey, I like the episode that you did with, Joe Schmo when you guys talked about XYZ, so that there's some personalization. Now, look, ethics behind this, I think they would be well served by sponsoring my podcast, uh, but I don't need it, right? Take it or leave it. But I was curious about that. So I haven't listened to their podcast yet. I've got an email that says, hey, that podcast episode with XYZ was great. Is that marketing? Is that being deceptive? The emails aren't saying, hey, I listened to the podcast and found this. So it's something for you to think about as you're, really revving into high RPMs with usage of these. Like what are the situational ethics related to having it write emails for you and stuff like that? I haven't thought too much about it. I'm not being dishonest. So Sherry, this is being run off of the web actually. So I got an iMac desktop, whatever size screen it is, and I'm running that through my Perplexity account. You can see over here, this is the standard Perplexity. Like I can go here and it'll take me into what we're used to seeing, right? So computer is now caveat might be that I have the max plan, which is the $200 a month. So that might be a limitation. I'm not sure. But to get back to this example of what I was doing with this, under tasks here, you can see. So I had to do the same thing. I had it find similar podcasts, find out who was sponsoring them. And it did the research, wrote the emails, and then it's like, oh, they're going to want a rate sheet, like a media kit to sponsor it. Do you have one? I was like, man, I don't. So off it went into Canva because I've got it integrated into Canva, and it built it. We had to go back and forth a couple times with some design stuff, but let's try. But this is very well. Let's see if I can find it. Anyway, I built it in Canva. So this is where, like, this is starting to get interesting because great, I found these. Now I've got to go build it. And another thing that I had to do was research what the advertising rates should be. Went out and did that, compared against all the advertising rate sheets for the competitors, that the people who were sponsoring on competitive podcasts. So this what I've been, I guess one of the things that I've started to notice is that, of course, we talk about thinking in AI. Thinking in builds is a little different. My experience is it's been a little different. I'm already like somebody who thinks in process, and I'm already like an operator as compared to like a visionary or the big idea person. So that part wasn't hard for me to think in builds, like what needs to happen and all that. But one of the things that has, like, when you start working with AI, you're not typing in a Google search, right? At first, maybe that's how you used it, and then you realize, oh wow, I can give it a lot more nuance and direction and control. So you start to develop your prompts, right? But there's a process of thinking the old way versus thinking the new way of thinking in prompts, right? I'm seeing the same thing happening in my experience with this stuff, and that I heard somebody call it being an agent jockey. You've got, okay, I've got Kimmy Claw about to work on something. I've got the Manus computer about to work on something through this desktop app. I've got Claude code going. I've got Telegram conversation with an agent over here. I've got a a web interface, the gateway dashboard with a different agent over here. So like I've got all of this stuff going. Is it productive? It isn't until you're able to do what this agent jockey was doing. And he said 6 weeks ago, I could maybe have two screens going simultaneously. So he's like, now I can have 15 different activities going, and I'm bouncing between the two of them. Now I don't know if he's on Adderall or what, but like with anything, the neuroplasticity, elasticity, whatever it is, your mind will, start to build these neural networks to support certain activities that you do over and over again. This is now a new neural network that's going to get developed if you start doing the agent jockey thing. And I don't know how you don't do that, because you give it an instruction, detailed instructions like, great, I'm going to go do the thing. Are you going to wait, sit around? Probably not, because you've got another idea and you're going to open up something else and something else. So but that's also leading to, I saw an article the other day, a new category of fatigue, right? So keep that in mind. But as an AI expert, I think that the next evolution for you is going from thinking in AI to thinking in AI and thinking in builds, and then starting to use these tools, and then spinning up a bunch of them to work simultaneously together and have that be that agent jockey. If you can do that, you can do that effectively. I think that this kind of elusive, the first one-person billion-dollar company that they've been talking about since Gen AI came out in 2022, I've been talking about that idea. Seemed like a long shot. Now applied to trying to sell like marketing services to home services companies, that's one thing. But if you're bringing a bigger plan to the table, I think we're on the cusp of being able to have me or you be able to be that agent jockey and have multiple things spinning up and have the marketing going on and the sales strategy being built and the operational monitoring with the agents checking on, all that kind of stuff. I think that we're like, this is it. This is the tools that you'll use to do that. So right now, I jumped into Kimi this morning because it's Kimi Claw. And again, I'd rather work with the easiest version of this claw model than command line interface, the terminal and blah, blah, blah. And this seems to be easy. Now, one of the first things that I notice here, and this is just how I started. What should I connect you with? Like a dummy. It's suggesting Telegram, which I use Telegram to communicate with my other agents. It's very well. Discord, don't spend any time in Discord. Slack, I have it. I see this and I'm like, what am I getting myself into? Because I do have the concerns about, the Chinese position on intellectual property and privacy and things like that. So what I did was I told it my daily drivers, okay, I told it I'm a little bit concerned about the security restrictions allowing you into my Slack. It told me what I wanted to hear to move forward, I guess. Okay, let's get you integrated into Slack. And then it gave me these instructions. Create a Slack app, man. I'm not going to create a Slack app. Let's paste that right into here, right? Because you guys saw me using the Comment Assistant, the browser last time, and that resulted in it building the app. Now I'm on the next step, which what I did was I took a screenshot and gave it the codes, but now it says we need the bot token too. Now I don't know where to get that, so I'm about to get to work. Here's what I'm seeing on my Slack app page. So I took a screenshot of this because it needs something that I guess I haven't given it in order to integrate Slack. Now, why Slack? Again, we're not keeping the recipe for Coca-Cola in our Slack or anything like that. I'm not too worried about that. And for me, that is and for a lot of executives, it's not, that they're hungry for more information, it's that they're overwhelmed by information. So if we can, in our own performance, if we can synthesize it into the TLDR, it's very helpful for me. And it would be for any other executive. One of the things that I'm seeing, and I just sent this over in our Slack to uh, Danny on our sales team is this. So 10X is they're more developer-y, some young guys out of New York. Alex Lieberman, who was the founder of Morning Brew. So he started a thing. We've spoken to Alex about working together and stuff like that. But look what his lead dev is doing. We help companies, exec teams set up flawed co-work in this way, which he had just referenced, and run custom workshops to help your people get the most out of the application. Pretty interesting, right? I know that in the Bay Area, they're charging like $5,000 or $6,000, but some nerd will come to your house and set up your Mac Mini with OpenClaw and almost like who the guys that show up, the Reddit nerds or whatever, the nerd squad. It's like that, except they're coming over there to exclusively set up your agent. So this is a thing, right? So if we know how to do this, and you can present, as I think I mentioned it, I was at a couple of YPO events speaking, and people who didn't even have a use policy in place had like Wild West usage in their companies were asking me about OpenClaw. Somehow, chat, like the chatter is reaching those individuals, and to them that sounds like, it's kind of the new version of magic for sure. But that's what they want. That's what they want. It's not what they need necessarily, but it's what they want. So I think that if you have this skill and you're able to come in here and, we work on 90-day cycles with our clients at Chief AI Officer for the service clients. But what if I can come in a workshop say, okay, great. Now business leader, now you have more accurate search and retrieval across all of the communication lines in your company where you can just type in, hey, when was I supposed to meet Dan for that deal review? And it goes through, because you can't remember if it's Slack or a text message or whatever, right? If you can come in and deliver something like that using one of these tools pretty quickly and do it safely, it changes the dynamic of delayed gratification to, oh my gosh, we've already got AI working, which buys you some time as the chief AI officer to build the foundational stuff that doesn't happen overnight. You guys remember me talking about this Liam Otley phrase that I heard, layers versus leaps, right? The layers aren't sexy, but that's how AI is done in a company. It's not, boom, here you go, you're good. It's a process, right? So let's see what Kimmy says. Okay, that's the basic information page. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to send this back over to, but what I want to do is I want to open up here we go, right here. I'm going to tell Slack. So again, for those of you who missed the trick, I just asked the model, took a screenshot, it says, hey, I need this other stuff. I'm like, well, here's what I'm seeing. I don't know where to get that. It says, go here. Great. Copy, paste into Comet browser, or if you're using Atlas browser, which is this one down here, it should do the same thing. And I let it do its thing. Now, while it's doing its thing, I want to go back into this computer session that I was working on. So here's what I told the computer. And this is a long one. We've been working since, I don't know if it'll give me a date timestamp, but I've been working with computer on this one thread. This isn't a light activity. We've done some deep work together. So now I find myself at the point where I want it to, it went and searched podcasts and found those. So now I'm going to say, research all the industry events that are related to generative AI in business. That would probably be a good fit for our audience, and find out who their sponsors were at the events. So before it goes off, it's going to say, which event scope should I recommend? North America, existing workbook. How many events should I target? Let's do 12. And now it's going to take off. Now this model is run on a credit system. Let me see if it's not showing me my usage up here. It was showing me my usage, and it showed we've done some cooking with this thing for sure. Um, so what I'm doing currently with this one is trying to make sure that it's, can you check if there's been an update for OpenClaw? It's saying that, it's telling me to do this stuff. So I think you know what I'm going to do here. Copy. And paste. Let's see here. But I know that I'm going to be doing that on the server where I have this running. So let me go into that. We'll open up a console session. So for those of you that aren't never seen this before, this is my DigitalOcean dashboard. And this is where I am. And I'm sure I'm probably leaking all kinds of stuff with my IPs and all that kind of stuff. So come and get them, you bad guys. So anyway, so that's what this is. That's this dashboard. If you've never seen it before, no biggie. It's probably because you haven't been inside of DigitalOcean before. So I'm going to click on console. It's going to open up this session for me. And they call it a droplet, I guess, is the hosted environment that you're on. Okay, so it is now ready to run. So all I did, one more time, it gave me some instructions. Was that here? No, it was here. Here. It gave me some instructions because I want to check and see if it's got the latest OpenClaw update. I really want to start introducing the OpenAI influence on OpenClaw through these updates. I really want to start getting that into my environment. So just I trust OpenClaw more than I do Peter or whoever it was that created it on his OpenAI more than Peter. Okay, so let me go in here. It's going to be here. I'm going to go in here. Let's just see if this is going to work. Oh, damn it. I should have done that. And yeah, so I just pasted the instructions that I should have used for the assistant. Let me do that. Let's let the agent figure out the next steps. Okay, so in Kimmy Claw, did this happen? Okay, all done. Look for OAuth. App is installed. Been copied to my clipboard. Let's see if it's on my clipboard now. That's it right there. So now I'm going to go back into Kimmy and say, here you go. So now what Kimmy is doing is creating this integration with Slack. Now, why would I want that? Again, I'm using, for me, Slack is the primary, like, grand central station of communication within our organization. So it's going to go in there and peek into all of the conversations that are happening and surface what I need to know instead of me having to go and look into, let's see, man, it's not as active as it normally is, but you can see we've got a lot of channels going on in here, right? Like now, computer is now attached to my Slack. The Manus is now attached to it. ChatGPT has been integrated with my Slack. Claude has been integrated with my Slack. So, okay, to test it, find Kimmy Claw, DM me something. Let's test it. Oh, I don't. You see here. I don't see it. So what am I going to do? Daddy, help me. I'm a dummy. Watch. Just going to tell it. Okay. You see what I'm doing? Like anytime I hit a snag, I'm not like, oh man, what do I do? I'm just like, copy, paste, help me fix it. Am I getting dumber by doing this and not being the one that's like, okay, step one? Maybe in a way, but I'm getting smarter. I'm getting more effective by doing it here because if I want to, if I want to get my hands dirty, roll up my sleeves, and click on OAuth and permissions and the left sidebar and do all that stuff, that's great. But I can only do one of those at a time. Simultaneously, I could have multiple things happening. I mean, is this already okay? Check the versions. Ooh. Okay, it looks like I'm good. There's an update available, but I'm on a stable version. Okay. Let's see here. Click on OAuth. Where are we? See, this starts to get kind of like the code jockey or the agent jockey thing is it's real. I'm like, where was I? Okay, so I gave it that. Okay, that's the step. Okay, click on OAuths and permissions on the left sidebar. Scroll to the top. OAuths and permissions. What? Let me try this. No. Okay, fine. I'll read. Go back to API. Okay, that's going to be this right here. So let me do that. Okay. Now, I'm still, a lot of times I'll pay attention to what's happening. Like I'll read it and then watch where it's navigating to do the thing. So I'm not completely clueless. Like if I got dropped in here without an agent, I would kind of know my way around the city, right? A little bit. But me knowing how to do this has very little to do with me being able to provide value to a client. So I don't want to exhaust, mental capacity on something that's not going to serve me. It's already installed. The button says reinstall rather than install. The bot visible and ready to copy. Kimmy Claw should appear in your Slack apps list. If it's not showing the issue, well, let's see what. Now watch what I'm going to do. Basically copying that output and saying, here's what Comet had to say. And just to make sure, like I'm not seeing it. Here's where the apps are for us. Slackbot. No, I don't see it here. But what I am going to do, I'm going to try. Let's see if there's an update. I'll do that later. Start. I want to quit Slack and I'll start it back up. See if it shows up. Now, why do I want that? Because as I mentioned earlier, I can have it go in there and do stuff. Let's see here. Still don't see Kimmy showing up here. Let's search for Kimmy. Well, it's there. Okay. Sending messages to this app has been turned off. It's not what we want. But I'm going to have Kimmy fix it. Now, there's probably, if you're an engineer, you've got any type of like Marie Kondo vibe going on with how you build things, you probably see what I'm doing. Like, what in the hell is that? Yes, it's a mess, but also like I'm in the fact finder phase, right? And Colby index, if you're familiar with it, I'm a high fact finder. So I like to push and like get my head around the scope of things and then go, okay, now we can do this. So this is not how I would do it moving forward. But what I'm wanting to do right now, me personally, is just ingest a lot of exposure to the tools and the blah, 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 so that I can start to create like a sixth sense about using these things, right? Or a spidey sense about using these things, and just advance my definition of thinking in AI, or thinking in builds, right? Okay, so let's see what we got here. Told Kimmy. Scopes changed. Go back. Okay. So while that's happening, now if I was taking my time and going slow, would I have as many of these like copy paste situations? When I first got started, that's the only thing I could do was go slow. And I didn't know. Um, and I still was doing a lot of copying and pasting. So I don't think that I'm creating extra work for myself. Let's see here what we got. Which would be good to add as credits of my account as Perplexity Pro. Um, I would just go with whatever you got. And then if you burn those out, then add more. Um, yeah, that's true, Paul. The probably easier to jockey to agents if you're not trying to explain to us at the same time. Yeah, Geek Squad. There you go, Phil. Yeah, and Paul. Thanks, guys. Um, okay, so just out of curiosity, for those who either if you were on the session last time or this is your first session about watching me wrestle with this stuff, if you were already using the agentic browsers, either Comet or Atlas, the way that I'm doing it, I'm just curious. If you are, put a 1 in the chat. If you weren't, put a 2. Okay. Okay. For me, this was like a big. Uh, this this is probably the thing that I use the most outside of an LLM. Yeah. But again, like with anything, it's creating a new behavior, a new habit. Like, oh, let me do this. The instructions that I've told all my agents, though, in the custom instructions, is that if you need me to do anything, please put it in the format that I can copy and paste to an agent, so um, it knows to do that thing. Okay, let me take a look here and see where we're at. Okay, I'm just gonna simply let Kimmy know this. Let's see what Kimmy wants to do about that. While that's happening, let's take a look at this. Okay, so this is researching best fit contacts for top event sponsor companies. Okay, great. So it found those best fit sponsors, and now it's looking for the contact information of these. I mean, if I get Zapier and Nvidia and Databricks and Salesforce to sponsor my podcast, I'd be pretty happy. But you can see now here it's doing its thing. And I can actually start a new task here, which in this one I did a test with booking flights, and it did a pretty good job. I got my daughter's flying from South Carolina, unaccompanied minor. My mom flies in from Houston, different airlines, trying to sync all that stuff up. Uh, I had this do it, and I don't know how long it took, but I ended up using most of the suggestions that it made, but it didn't just go to Expedia and say, here you go. It like looked around. This is a demo we did when I was in Salt Lake. Okay, so Kimmy suggests reinstall should have cleared the permission use. Try sending a message in Slack now. Okay, Kimmy, where you at? Let's try that again. Kimmy Claw. Okay. Okay, so now here we go. Do I need to restart? So far, this web-based claw bot is Command R. Let's try that. Is easier for me to use because I was able to start using it right away. The other ones you do have to do an install, so it's not. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's not as easy as typing into ChatGPT. So let's go back into this. Command R. Okay, no. Still no. Um, I'll tell it these are the scopes. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. With the other ones, it could be doing its thing, and I don't have to wait till it's done to submit. And this one, it looks like, or maybe I have to add some copy. Yeah, that's what it is. I can't give it just the image. I have to actually type in some text. Now, what will all of these sessions that I'm doing ultimately lead to? It'll ultimately lead to a more concise demonstration of how to do, like how to get set up, right? So I would expect that like a 1 day workshop or something to be on the calendar at some point soon, where you come, you show up, and by the end of it, you have that equivalent of what we were talking about they're doing in Silicon Valley and San Francisco. Except you would be the geek, you and me. Okay, here's the thing. When you reinstalled the app, Slack generated a new bot token. The one I have is from the first installation. It's great. All I have to do is copy that token, give it to it. Now, here's the thing. If you didn't know where that token was, you could take a screenshot, say, hey, where's the token? Or come over here, put the instructions in, and just let it do its thing. Okay. So the reinstall kept the same token. Let's see.
Chris?
Yes.
If I have Perplexity Pro, how much will be ideal for me to start experimenting with this Perplexity computer? Like how much in credits?
So I'm on a different screen right here, but it's showing that this big one that I've been working on, with the sponsors and all that sort of thing, it looks like I had 55,000 credits and I've got about 44,800. So this one has used, looks like about 10,000 credits to do this thing. How many credits are you seeing with your Pro account?
With my Pro, it says, just a minute. Actually, the Pro account doesn't have credits, and it is $15 per $15, 1,500 credits.
Okay, that could get expensive. Yeah. It might make sense if you end up using this a lot. Like, and the way that I'm using this, I mean, I got a ton of credits. I'm just kind of brute forcing it. I'm not really using a lot of planning, mainly because I just wanted to experiment and I didn't, what can you do kind of thing. But I know that moving forward, I would probably, we talk about the 10-80-10. The first 10% is you getting clear on what you want before you hit enter with the models. I would probably spend more time on the front end collecting, like I would have probably said, hey, not just for podcast sponsors, but any AI newsletters as well as AI events. I'm looking for all the sponsors. I'd probably have it get them all. Like, I want top 100. But what I've been doing with this one is kind of small task, completes it. Oh, now do this. Oh, now do this. And I think that when you get started, if you've ever, vibe coded an app on AI Studio or whatever, that's how it goes. Most of us, when we're getting started, we don't drop some big PRD, a project requirements document or product requirements document that lists out everything. We just don't. We're like, ooh, I need an app that does this. And then it builds that really quick. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, ooh, and can you do this? So we just keep these we're like tacking things onto the side of this app that we're building. And it's not, obviously, the hygiene associated with that is not the best. The best thing to do would be have a clear plan and let AI do that rather than say, oh, now do this. Oh, now do this. Because it might have to rewrite or overwrite some of the stuff it's already done. The logic gets wonky. And that's how most of us get started with this stuff anyway. But I would do something different if I were to run this again in, actually, we'll run it in Manus in just a moment. Okay. So Kimmy says, Okay. Let me see here. We'll deal with that in a second. Let me see if there's any comments in the chat. Nope. Okay. So Kimmy's been reinstalled. Should now be resolved. Okay, I'm going to tell Kimmy. Just going to ask it straight up. Should I reinstall? Should I reinstall the token to my Slack channel again? I don't even know if that's the right question to ask it, but let's see here. Okay. Let's try this. At Kimmy Claw. Let me go to a public channel. Okay. I'll probably have to do this. Kimmy Claw. Hi. Okay. So now troubleshoot a little bit further. Okay, I was able to add the Kimmy Claw app to a channel and send a message to the Kimmy Claw app, but it didn't respond. Okay. And again, I'm using Super Whisper as my speech to text. Go back in here and see if Kimmy's got. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's Danny. Ah. Let's see, Kimmy Claw. Okay, so now it's checking its Slack. But here's what we're about to do in the Manus computer. Okay, I already had it do that. Okay, so it went to my Slack chat. Now this one I just installed. It's now connected to my Slack, but I asked it to go through Slack channels and give me a summary of what's happening, and it did that. Okay, so we know that that's working. So I'm going to my computer. Okay, go to new task, my computer. Hey, Manus, I have a podcast called. Nope, we're going to do something real. Hey, Manus, I've been invited to speak at a Vistage forum in Charlotte, North Carolina, or South North Carolina, May 19th. I would like to make the most out of that trip and possibly do a meetup. So I'm going to need some help figuring out what platform I should probably use to do a meetup in Charlotte. I'm going to need a reach out plan for targeted individuals who are AI enthusiasts or whatever to come out to the meetup. I'd also like to reach out to any of the YPO members that are in Charlotte to offer to do a half-day training for their group. And I guess any other business associations or groups that would be at that level. I'm not looking for like the, startup groups or anything like that. I'm looking for established businesses. So I guess what I'm saying here is we need to come up with a plan to get the most out of my trip to Charlotte. I need recommendations for a meetup tool. I need recommendations or suggestions or a plan for finding the people I need to reach out to. Go ahead and give me a kind of a theme or something like that I could use in the marketing narrative to get people there. It's going to be a free event. I'm not going to charge for it. And also maybe some venues that would be central to, I guess, downtown. I also, again, I want you to find the YPO groups there and any uh, forum chairs or anything like that. I'd like to get their information and provide me with their LinkedIn uh, information as well as any email address you can find for them. And then you know what I'd love is for you to take a look at my CRM, which is Go High Level, and go through there and look at the contacts and see if we have any contacts from that who are within an hour's drive from Charlotte. All right, let's see what this thing can do. That's a lot of like kind of different small tasks. Okay. Now I need to add not skills. Let me see if it's got doesn't have Go High Level. But I'll bet I can make a custom MCP. Okay. So anyway, we're going to let it do its thing. Let's see what it comes up with. So Kimmy at this point should have restarting to reestablish. Okay. Sometimes I'll notice that there's no indication that it's still working, so I'll give it a nudge. Okay, it looks like I got my output here. Okay. Updated sponsor workbook, 4 new tabs. The event is anchored around business-facing AI conferences. Great. Strongest repeat sponsor brands. Okay, good. Best fit contact per priority event sponsor. Okay. Best move, the first outreach batch IQ from this event. Okay, then let's go for it. Yeah. If you want, I'll do the next step and draft the first 10. Yes, please. Now I've attached this to my Gmail. And if I go into drafts, all those drafts were sitting in here waiting to be sent. So it is working there, and I actually sent some from there. Okay, so now we're in Manus. Okay, so all I got to do is give it my Go High Level API key. Wow. Okay, and location ID. Okay, well, I'll do that when the screen is off. But let's go take a look at our Kimmy and see if we're getting any closer here. Quick test. Send me a message that says something like testing from Slack. Okay. I'll do a new message. Kimmy. Nope. Let's go back into Zoom. Okay. Okay. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, like we haven't done anything, not until we do something. Like this is AI, right? You get your foundation set once you get everything working, then you get to do the fun stuff. And in the meantime, look at it this way. You're doing things that you probably never have done before or would have done. You just wouldn't have had a reason to do it. So every step of the way is a high level, high quality problem. You're getting the opportunity to learn stuff that will collectively make you somebody who is has skills that are unparalleled, probably amongst your competition in your local market, whatever that is, right? Okay, so we're gonna turn that off. It's Greg, and I'll put a link to Greg's podcast in the Zoom comments because I don't listen to everything, but when he's got something that I want to know about, they're good. Uh, yes. Okay, let me find that. Okay. So, Paul, I think all I did was I just went to Perplexity, um, and I typed in managed computer agent. Did I type in introducing my computer? Yep. So I'll post this link in there. And oh, this is a different page than I went to. There we go. I'm gonna put this in there. So under your comment here, Paul, putting that link to Manus, and they do have Windows, so you don't have to wait like people had to wait with Claude. Okay, let's take a look here. Full restart. Now you see why you would need to be an agent jockey, right? Like you just got stuff, as they say in the vibe coding space, you got stuff cooking, and you just got to watch it cook. I drafted the 10. Okay, great. Let's take a look at those emails that it says it drafted for me. Um, Here we go. Oh, no, you didn't. I don't see those drafts. Look at that. Oh, it drafted them, but it hasn't sent them. Okay, if you want next, create Gmail drafts. Yep. Yep. Let's Gmail drafts. So even something as basic as this, to where I don't have to context switch and copy paste, set it up, format it into Gmail and things like that. You guys know my concept about making the boat go faster. Like okay, great. That's an opportunity for me not to get distracted and get into my inbox. It's going to all happen for me. And I set it with a couple of rules. I said, make sure that you include a link to my podcast in there. I could have a hyperlink to the media kit, but I want them to solicit. I don't want it to be just like a hey, pitch, pitch, pitch. And I have it sending it from a different email address through my account. It's the same account that the media team deals with. So I gave it some very specific instructions, and right now it looks like it's setting those up for me. Kimmy, where are you at? Okay, it's the Kimmy Claude DM. Let's try that again. Kimmy. Sent. Okay. Looks like. Oh, interesting. It said Windows only. Huh. So my initial experience is Kimmy Claw a bust? No. But my initial experience is that what my hypothesis was that it would be a lot easier to just work from a browser based OpenClaw agent, right? That was already built in. Now to do this, I think I'm paying the with Kimmy, I'm paying this what $30. What am I paying? $40 a month for access to this. Now I'm testing. Um, I would probably maybe this is where I am. But I don't mind paying a little bit, like to test the stuff out, because if it helps, priceless. Okay. So I'm going to mess around with this Slack thing at some point later. I'll just keep this tab open, shut that down, close that one. Take a look at this. So we can see right now what it's actually doing. So it just wrote that this is a screenshot that it's doing, but so it's actually doing those. Look, all the drafts: Deloitte, Mongo, NVIDIA, Databricks. So it's writing those right now, which is great. Let's take a look at what the Manus apps come up with. But it's waiting on my API key, which I'll give it. So here's what I can tell you that I'm working on these in between these calls, right? And when I have had enough immersion, then it's very easy for me to go, okay, folks, this is what we need to focus on. You just happen to right now get a chance to kind of watch me get to that point where I'm like, aha, this is what we're looking for. This is how I think we should be using this kind of thing. And hopefully in the meantime, you're getting a little exposure into maybe, oh, I never thought about using the tool that way, or, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me try that next time. So yeah, Chris unplugged 100% or plugged way the hell in. We'll have to see. But yeah, so I'm going to continue working with this. It's top of the hour. If you guys have some feedback or anything like that, I'd love to hear it. But again, please don't take any offense to this, but I'm not doing this for you. I would be doing this anyway. And I figured, let me create an accountability mechanism that, oh, I got to do it. There's going to be people there, right? So if you can create these forcing mechanisms in your own life, they've been very effective in mine to make sure that, oh, that's going to, like, I have to show up, right? So, and if you guys have any, if you make any breakthroughs or discoveries, like, you can see I don't have all the answers. At the beginning of these calls or during these calls, please don't feel like, oh, I don't want to sound dumb. Hell, we're all dumb at this stuff. This is brand new. Like, computer came out today, right? So, and the reality is, the more comfortable you are with feeling dumb, the faster you're going to just like get over the learning curve. So, like, please share what you're learning. And it looks like I got another call. So thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Go practice.